What's up, guys? This is my introduction to my finished sneaker. It's called the 2018, named after probably the apogee of my footwear creation in terms of Act 1, I would say, because in the past 2 years, I've definitely hit a renaissance in my sneaker creativity, footwear creativity. But nonetheless, I want to talk about Act 1, so to say, and talk about my older creations that were heavily inspired by. I'll put a picture, Helen Kirkham. She was prominent in the 2017-18 Instagram circuit, which is part of the reason why I highlight that year with this sneaker model I'm going to show you guys. And I want to make a focal point of this video that it's very important to find your own style in whatever creative endeavor you're doing, because I was doing very similar things to what she was doing. She was doing what you could call patchwork, combining old materials with newer stuff and used recycled type of stuff. And I got creations like this. I know it's hard to see, but you can tell that it's very mishmash in terms of materials. And this was a shoe I made back in 2019, and I added the soles around like 2021, but the main upper was done around 2019. And in 2020, I believe I did these. These where I started. These were where I started to realize that once I use thicker materials, not just this like this upcycled, this from the Kobe 10, I believe. Upcycling shoes, you can actually use thicker leathers. This is where I started realizing that's where I should head towards. But I was so in the music at the time that the shoes were taking a back. It was on the foreground, or in the background, I mean. And yeah, I mean, the point being that these were, I would say, checkpoint where I started really picking up more intricate designs that feel like a commercially viable shoe. I think I've now I think of it, I think I have showcased these, but yeah, these I really like because they had like a thematic aesthetic. They remind me of like some sort of snake, obviously a glove, because this is where it comes from. I took apart some leather gloves, or not a snake, a spider. And did I say snake or spider? But yeah, a spider. And I just started doing more sophisticated things, I feel, and kind of did like a Yeezy type of thing right here, collar. Um, but yeah, these felt like I was progressing. I did add like this on later on. It's like inspired by the Jordan 10. So it kind of is disjointed. It has like this slope, but then kind of jets down. But yeah, those are those. I remember kind of having some trouble with the toe. I mean, I made these so long ago, 2021, 2020, really. Because the other pair is kind of different, but that toe shape I wanted to, it's like a hexagonal shape that I really wanted to get. But yeah, those are those. Forgot what I named these. And they have more form than these. I'm and I have to disclose that a lot of these rougher, older stuff I've done, I didn't actually learn how to make shoes the cobbler way, how you're supposed to with the last. I would just like hand sew the insole part, I guess. I guess the Strobel board. That's why they're not very shapely how a shoe is. And of course, you know, the shoe I'm going to show has way more traditional or orthodox shoemaking, uh, you know, what would you call it? It's just traditional in the way you'd make a shoe, more so. Now, I have ordered some last because I finally am seeing more viability in making these things. So I'm gonna start actually learning how to use a shoe form or a last to make the proper shape and then put the sole in it. But those are the two sneakers I want to show, and then I will also include two other pairs that I made back in. I hope I do have, because I first started in 2017, and those were very rough. And then 2018 is where I really started getting more passionate about making actually shoes, because I was sketching shoes since I was like 12 or 13, really. But actually taking apart shoes, I didn't start till after Helen Kirkham came out in that 2016-17 era, and that's when like Little Jupiter was on Instagram, and there was like this whole synergy in the Instagram scene that really inspired me to start, I guess, getting in on it. I don't know. I would say trying my luck with, making shoes, because there was so much energy at the time because the Off Whites came out at that time and so much stuff was going on. But the point being is that that's when I started actually trying to make shoes. Um, but I do have a picture of these two you'll see, and one of them, the first one I'll show, is a very rough shoe that I was very excited about because I had like an intricate tongue, and it reminded me a lot of the LeBron. Or I got inspired by the LeBron Soldier 9s, I believe, and those were neat. But I remember I had to take the sole off the second shoe I ever made. That's what you'll see there. And the second one I made is a shoe I made in 2019. That was, at that time I was using like these IKEA soles from these slippers, and they were very inspirational for me at the time. I was making like intricate upper with the really thin slipper sole. I thought that was like the coolest thing ever at the time. I guess that was like 6 years ago now. But I guess it's time to showcase these, the 2018. I finally finished these because this design I actually drew on paper in 2018, and here's the final product, or at least the first prototype. And these are obviously, I'm very proud of these, especially the color. I mean, everything. I just knocked it out of the park with these, and I hope they pick up, I guess, on Instagram, because that's where I see anything footwear related or urban hip hop, whatever. Because you know how consumeristic, I guess, urban culture is, so they're more tailored to that market. But nonetheless, that's my 2018 shoe I wanted to showcase, and I hope it picks up on YouTube where I'm going to post this. And stay tuned for the part two, where I'll try to find older pictures of my first creations that led to the magnificent 2018 that I'm going to put on my website so you guys could pre order. And there's that. Here's the medial side. It's kind of toned down on the medial side, but here's the top down look. And here's the, try to show the tongue, because the tongue I did keep the patchwork feel. You could argue the main design is patchwork, but I feel like I really did well on the design itself. But here's the tongue. It's a little bit of yellow accents, but yeah, there's that. But yeah, these are the 2018. And I'm gonna try to get it on foot soon. I guess for part two, that'll be good. But there's that. Yeah, so comment if you want to buy a pair. I'm gonna be doing size 9 to 12. So just comment and give me your Instagram or your email, and I'll send you an invoice if you'd like a pair. I won't do half sizes for now. So I'll do 9, 10, 11, 12. So four sizes to pick from. If you're interested in the Systems List 2018 sneaker, hit me up in the comments.